Order. I call Sir Bernard Jenkin to move the motion.
I beg to move. And Sir Christopher, it's wonderful to be under your chairmanship, and I'm very grateful to have the opportunity for this debate. I represent, well, I don't represent, but I chair a group of MPs from Essex, Norfolk and Suffolk. It's a cross-party group, and we are working to promote the Clean Power 2030 objective, but in a manner which we think will be delivered more cheaply and more quickly, because it is becoming increasingly clear that undergrounding high voltage direct current cables is the way forward for the Great National Grid upgrade. Undergrounding will carry public consent, avoid delays, and therefore be cheaper, as well as being better for the countryside. Relying on new lines of pylons, indeed for the entire upgrade as currently proposed, will delay decarbonising the national grid because they arouse such hostility and they will end up costing more because of the delays. This debate is not just local, therefore. Decarbonisation is one of the great national challenges the United Kingdom faces. How this is achieved, how quickly and at what cost is an issue of national importance. NESO's Clean Power 2030 report is welcome, but it highlights the scale of the challenge. NESO, the National Electricity Supply Organisation, is very clear. Public support is critical to achieving these ambitions. Their response to the Secretary of State in their document Clean Power 2030 warns about losing public consent. It is a significant threat to delivering these projects on time and within budget. And Flint and Sly, the executive director of NESO, made this clear on Radio 4 when the report was launched on the 5th November. The importance of engaging community support. He said, and I quote, "I'm acutely conscious that building infrastructure, pylons, does impose on people and their locality." He also emphasised, what is really important is that we bring people and communities with us on this journey. The transition to net zero only works if we can bring society with us, unquote. So he's saying very clearly, infrastructure solutions must align with community priorities. The challenge to install new capacity is enormous. The UK currently has around 14 gigawatts of offshore wind capacity. But to meet future energy demands, this capacity will need to grow nearly threefold by 2030. And to continue expanding to handle 125 gigawatts of wind by 2050. This is a much faster rate of investment than we have seen so far, but projects for 2030 are already falling behind. Given the strength of public opposition to overhead pylons, it is highly unlikely that any pylons proposals will be delivered on time. Clean Power 2030 sets out how delays are already affecting key projects like Norwich to Tilbury, which is the 184 kilometres of pylons through across Norfolk, Suffolk and Essex. NESO now says this will be delayed by 1 year to 2031 in their Clean Power report. What's more, delay is very costly. NESO estimates that the cost of delay is £4 billion per year, far higher than previous estimates, mainly because of the constraint payments that have to be paid to wind power generators. Given the public opposition to Norwich to Tilbury, the funds being amassed for legal challenges, and the opportunities for judicial review at least twice during the process, Norwich to Tilbury is likely to be delayed far longer than just 1 year. This risk is likely to apply to the other 17 pylon schemes proposed in the Great Grid upgrade. Currently, however, National Grid plans to use overhead pylons as the primary infrastructure for this massive reinforcement of the national grid. And I do put it to the Minister, this is not deliverable on the current concept. The implication is clear. The way to secure public consent is by pursuing strategies that respect and protect local communities and what they value, their property, their livelihoods and the countryside. I give way to my honourable friend.
I'm extremely grateful to my honourable friend who has done a fantastic job in this area. He has been very persuasive in setting out the damage done to his own constituency, but does he agree that the strength of the Offset Group demonstrates that this is going to affect communities right across East Anglia, including Margaretting village in my own constituency, and therefore the opposition he talks about is likely to be across the whole of the region and very strong?
Well, my right honourable friend is completely right. There are other colleagues present in the chamber today representing, for example, Lincolnshire, and we know there's concerns in North Wales, on the east coast of Scotland, represented by my right honourable friend on the representing the opposition front bench. This is a very widespread problem. The point is, though, undergrounding HVDC cables is not only technically viable, but it is also the most sensible and sustainable solution for the future of our energy network. That's if we can't have it offshore. And I do acknowledge that quite a lot is going offshore, but it does rub salt in the wounds in East Anglia that other countries are having the luxury of offshore schemes, for example, from Scotland to the north east of England, but we're not getting it in East Anglia. For some reason, our countryside isn't working.